Michael Gilmour joins me here at NamesCon 2016. Michael, it's good to see you again. How's it going?
It's wonderful to see you. It's great. What a conference it's been.
What a conference it's been.
Oh my goodness. Like, I would say this is probably one of the best conferences I've attended. And just to see the amount of activity, the amount of people here, and just the energy of the place has been fantastic.
Tell us about ParkLogic and kind of your day-to-day and what you guys are up to.
Yeah, ParkLogic, like I must admit, we had our best year ever last year. It was, people sort of say that domain monetization is dead. I got news for them. It really is. There's so many people are making a lot of money from domain monetization, and I think there's been an evolution of the thinking where more and more people are beginning to outsource to companies like ParkLogic, dare I say, and be able to extract the full value of the traffic. Right. Which is great. So people have asked me, like, so what exactly we do? Good way of thinking about it is we take traffic in within a space of 100 milliseconds. We work out who's going to pay the most for it. Is it going to be direct advertising networks, real-time bidding systems, affiliate programs, and then we say backfill with the domain parking companies. So when you work with ParkLogic, you work with everyone.
So they're competing for best, sort of the best return.
Exactly. So we're charged with the responsibility of extracting as much value from the traffic as possible on the behalf of our clients, and that's what we do.
Amazing. Where do you see the industry headed right now, whether it's regards to monetization or the new GTLDs or just in general, the general space? I know you're an industry veteran. People are considering you one. And
yeah, it's a really interesting question. Yeah, I'm actually quite bullish about traffic and monetization, and the reason why I am is the traffic is always valuable because advertisers need traffic. Yeah, and it's a nice, consistent revenue stream. Yeah, and if you see your traffic and your revenue from traffic going down, then don't just keep on doing the same thing you were doing before. Work with a different company. Like, hey, give me a call or something like that.
Yeah.
Like we've got data that shows that if you put all your domains with a single parking company as an example, I can guarantee you the maximum that company will win would be about 75% of the time. So 25% of the time, my apologies. So 75% of the time, you could do better elsewhere.
Oh, interesting, okay.
But the problem is, it's a different 25% every time.
Yeah,
so the domains are moving,
around.
It shuffles constantly, and that's what we've built across the last 9 years.
Okay, that's brilliant, okay. There are a lot more people at this conference than there have been in the past. It's probably growing at a rate that could hit some sort of critical mass or exponential growth in the years to come. A lot of new people in the space.
Very much so.
A lot of beginners.
Very much so,
What kinds of words of advice or wisdom would you profess to these people who are here or just in general who are also watching?
Yeah, I think that there'd be a few words of advice would be this. Remember what business is about compared to hobbies. Business is revenue less expenses equals profit. Right. A hobby is, who cares? I'm having a good time, And I think that many domainers over the years I've seen, they forget that simple equation because they get caught up with I have a story for every one of my domains how I got it. And I just love this domain, so someone better pay me $500,000 for it, even though it's only worth $1,000.
The attachment, the personal attachment to it,
It's crazy. I personally have more of an attachment to my bank account.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I find that is that's better. But so that's first word of advice. The second word of advice is this: be very careful who you get advice from. Yeah. And understand that everyone will have a particular point of view, and look at there's a few veterans here who've been around a long time, and the reason why they've been around a long time is because they've done something right along that journey, and there's a lot of people around here, and there's other people that are new, but they're saying they've been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So just be careful and be wise in that, and don't jump into things. And don't think to yourself, particularly in the new GTLD space, don't think, oh my gosh, I have to get this. If I don't, I'm going to miss out.
What do you think of the new GTLD space? Are there any extensions of favorites of yours or kind of leanings one way or the other?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. from a domain investor perspective, one of the things I struggle with is a business model for them right now. I think they're fantastic for the end users. End user, wonderful. But for a domain investment, you need to be thinking in terms of your own thinking, sort of say to yourself, I need to be holding this for about 7 years, this domain. That means I've got 7 years of renewals to put into my little return on investment analysis. Right. Because I think it'll take about that long before the general public really catches on.
I heard Frank Schilling, I believe might have been 2 years ago now, the first show, said exactly that kind of window.
Yeah. So I saw a whole lot of people jump into the new GTLD space, and I sat back and thought, you know what, I'm going to keep my cash. I'll wait until they run out of cash, and about year 5, and then I'll buy in. Yeah, and because we're in a market where you have massive supply. Absolute massive supply, so it depresses values. You're not going to get really big sales. Every now and then you'll get one, yeah. And they put the flag at the polls, say, hey, there's been another sale. Yeah, but how many domains have been bought? Yeah, and there's been one sale. Yeah, so in terms of the new GTLD space, who I think are really good winners, there'll be 2 types. One is the likes of .club. I love the guys from .club.
Just spoke to Colin. And it was
Colin's a great guy.
Colin's a great guy, yeah.
And so's Jeff and the whole team there. I really love .club. They've focused on .club and they're scaling vertically. Yeah. In numbers of domains. It just passed, was it 560,000 or something?
They're one of the leaders, and their marketing too is incredible. It's kind of built-in marketing. And Colin was talking about how there are billboards in China that have the domain in Chinese characters. .club is basically how it looks.
Then you've got the guys at Donuts, as an example, who are scaled horizontally. Yeah, they've got 280 different extensions and everything like that. Yeah. They're going to be big winners. So you got those 2 winners. I think there's the other winner is going to be like the .cpa, where they have natural buyers.
Emerging markets.
Yeah.
We're talking about more and more people in the space, more and more people at the conference, but in terms of our industry, there's just this tremendous influx from China and India.
Yeah.
New participants in the space. How's that kind of affected and or been perceived as in ParkLogic or in terms of the monetization angle?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I had some questions from clients asking what's going on with monetization. It seems to be a bit slow coming out of the sort of Northern Hemisphere summer period. And I scratched my head and I thought, what is going on? And I'm a data guy. I like my data, right? So I did a lot of analysis. And I found we entered the slowdown period early June. And it came out, it was very sluggish coming out in September. And I thought, well, why is this the case? Then I compared it against the Shanghai index. The Shanghai index and devaluation of the RMB happened in those periods of time. And so basically, was it China caught a cold and the rest of the world sort of got pneumonia for a period of time, and it pulled out. So the global impact of that is not to be underestimated. That's on the monetization side. But then you look at the effect that had on the sales side, and suddenly there's a huge amount of capital trying to leave the equity markets and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And they're looking for other investments. And so it poured into the domain space. I personally think we're in a Chinese bubble. I looked at all my 4-letter domains and also 3-letter domains and everything, and I said to my business partner, I said, just clear them out. Yeah. No one's ever regretted having cash in the bank. Sure, So if you're sitting there with some 4 letters and that sort of stuff, numbers, sell them out. Just sell. That's my advice.
You think it's a bubble? That's an interesting take.
It's an absolute bubble.
Yeah.
As interesting, you talk to some of the brokers and they're seeing it begin to slide off.
Right.
I'm going, hey, timing's on my side. I did it. I got rid of mine.
The economy's a concern. So that's been one of my questions as well, is how is the next few months going to unfold.
Well, the interesting thing is that I've been on vacation all last week and everything, and I haven't looked at any news or anything. And I come back, and it's like China collapsed again.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what just happened while I've been away?
I know, yeah.
One of the first things I'll do when I get back to Australia is I'll do a whole lot of analysis. on the impact this is going to have on our clients, because I'm concerned, and also the impact on the industry as a whole. Is it going to impact things and that sort of stuff? That's very important. That's one of the things we try to protect our clients at ParkLogic with, is doing some of this very in-depth analysis.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay, thanks very much.